Well, assalamu alaikum again, dear students, and hello everyone, and welcome with a new English grammar lesson. And today we have conditional sentences. So as you know, in English we have basically four types of conditional sentences. So we have conditional type 0, conditional type 1, and conditional type 2, and conditional type 3. So in today's lesson we are going to focus mainly, as you can see, on conditional type 2. Alright? So let's get started. And here I have a very important question to begin with. So it says, what would you do if you got your baccalaureate degree? So have you ever thought about this question? What would you do if you got your baccalaureate degree? So simply let's have a look at this example. So here, as you can see, this is the baccalaureate degree, and this is a picture for a university. So let's have a look at this example. So if I had my baccalaureate degree, I could go to university. So what do you understand from this example? If I had my baccalaureate degree, I could go to university. If I had my baccalaureate degree, so that means that I don't have my baccalaureate degree now, so I cannot go to university. So simply, I cannot go to university because I don't have the baccalaureate degree. So here, why I cannot go to university? Because I don't have the baccalaureate degree. So the baccalaureate degree in this example is what we call a condition. It's the first condition for going to university. So if I don't have this baccalaureate degree, I cannot go to university, as a matter of fact, right? Fine. So here in this sentence, the condition is having the baccalaureate degree to go to university. Okay? So here, this sentence, we call it a conditional sentence because we have a condition in this sentence, which is having the baccalaureate degree so that I can go to university. Clear? So this sentence is called the conditional sentence, and it is exactly conditional type 2. Why it is conditional type 2? Because we are expressing an imaginary situation in the present or in the future, right? So here we say, if I had my baccalaureate degree, I could go to university, which means in reality I don't have my baccalaureate degree and I cannot go to university. Fine? So please remember this. So this is a conditional sentence because we have the condition in it, and it is conditional type 2 because we have what we call an imaginary situation in the present. Great. So let us explain more in this example. With this question again, what would you do if you had this amount of money? What would you do if you had this amount of money? So let's see this example. I don't have this amount of money, so this is in reality. So I cannot travel around the world. So this is a person thinking about traveling with this money. So in reality, I don't have this amount of money, so I cannot travel around the world. So we can simply say, with conditional type 2, if I had this amount of money, I would travel around the world. If I had this amount of money, I would travel around the world. Which means that the first condition for traveling is having money. So in reality, I don't have money. That's why we say, if I had this amount of money, I would travel around the world. Or we can also say, I would travel around the world if I had this amount of money. Clear? Fine. Let's have a look at another example. Here again, in reality, this is a kid thinking about buying a bike. So I don't have enough money, so I will not buy a bike. So what is the condition for buying a bike? Is having money. So he says, or we can say, if I had enough money, I would buy a bike, which means that in reality he doesn't have money, right? So he cannot buy a bike. So he says, or we say, if I had enough money, I would buy a bike. And here also we can say, I would buy a bike if I had enough money. But please here pay attention to something. The verbs in this sentence in reality, I don't have enough money, so I will not buy a bike. The first verb here is I don't have, and the second is I will not buy. So here the verb in the first part is in the present verb, in the present simple. So here we used the conditional tool, which is if plus subject plus had. So had is the past of verb to have. Very good. So if I had enough money, I would buy a bike. And here we have will not. So it's negative changed to affirmative. I would buy a bike. So please pay attention to this. Negative change to affirmative, and vice versa. Also for here in the first part, I don't have changed to I had. So negative change to affirmative. Okay, let's explain this more in the next example here. So here in reality again, I don't have enough money, so I will not travel today. So as you can see here in this picture, this is a person dreaming or thinking about traveling. Why he cannot travel? Because he doesn't have enough money. So this is in his reality, or this is in the present time. As you can see here, today I don't have enough money, so I will not travel today. So we can say with conditional type 2, if I had enough money, I would travel today. So here again, in reality, I don't have enough money and I cannot travel. But with conditional type 2 we say, if I had enough money, I would travel today. Or we can also say, I would travel today if I had enough money. Great? Fine. As you can see here again, I don't have, it's negative changed to affirmative, using the past, I had. And here again, negative I will not change to affirmative, I would travel, plus verb in the infinitive. Let's see another example to explain more. Here, I don't have enough money, so I can't buy a house. I don't have enough money, so I can't buy a house. So here this is my dream house, for example. How can I get it? I need to have enough money. So in reality, I don't have enough money and I cannot buy this house. So we say with conditional type 2, if I had enough money, I could buy a house. You see? So if I had enough money, I could buy a house, or I could buy a house if I had enough money. So as you can see here in this example, we have a change of the use of the comma in the two structures. So here if we start with if, we use comma in the middle to separate the two parts of the sentence. But here if we start with the second part, so we say I could buy a house if I had enough money. So here in the sentence, no comma. So we use comma only if we start with the sentence that has if. Alright? Let's see this in the next examples. So let's have this example. So this is a student, right? And he says, I get a bad grade because I don't work hard. So this is the grade. I get a bad grade because I don't work hard. So this is a student talking about his present time or his reality. So here we have, I get a bad grade because I don't work hard. So we can say with conditional type 2, if I worked hard, I won't or I wouldn't get a bad grade. Or we can say, I wouldn't get a bad grade if I worked hard. Which means that in reality, he doesn't work hard and he gets bad grades. But here we can, with conditional type 2, we can say, if I worked hard, I won't or I wouldn't get a bad grade. Clear? Great. So let's have a look here with this grammar summary. So here, as you can see, this is the form. And now with the form here, let's have a look at this part. So we have if clause and the main clause. So these are the two parts we have in a conditional sentence or with conditional type 2 sentences. So here we have if clause in the first part or the first part is called the if clause, and the second part is called the main clause. Alright? So here in the if clause we use if plus past simple. Okay? And in the main clause we use would or could or might plus verb in the infinitive. So I repeat again. So here we have, as you can see, if clause we use if plus past simple. Alright, of course with a comma there. And then in the main clause, so we have basically would or could or might, so this is depends on the sentence, plus verb in the infinitive. Right? And then, like in the example here, if you spoke Italian, you could get a job in Italy. So simply here, if, this is the rule, so this is if, and past simple of speak is spoke. Very good, this is past simple, and this is the comma. It's very necessary or important if we start with the if clause. And here also we have could, and then we have get is the main verb in the infinitive. Alright, great. So this is for the form. And for the use, we use the conditional type to express unreal or imaginary events in the present or also in the future, or to give advice. So like here in this example, if I got my baccalaureate, I might go to university. Alright, so this is an imaginary situation or event about the present, which means I don't have my baccalaureate. So if I got my baccalaureate, I might go to university. And the second example, which is for advice, if I were you, I would revise very well. Which means if I am in your place, or if I am in your shoes, right? If I were you, I would revise very well. So this is like a piece of advice. Fine, please remember this, very important. This is the form and this is the use. And now to explain more, let's have some practice with this exercise. So to practice this, let's have a look at this exercise. It says, so here, complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs. So here, please, I'd like you to take or to pause the video and take some minutes and try to answer this exercise. Right. So here, number one, if you fail the exam, you'll not be able to take it again next year. Okay. So if you fail the exam, you'll not be able to take it again next year. So here simply we say that if plus past simple. So what is the past simple of fail? So let's answer this together. So we have, very good, if you failed the exam, comma, you not be able to take it again next year. So the if clause we use if plus past simple, and in the main clause we use what? Very good, would or could or might plus verb in the infinitive. So here we say you won't be able to take it again next year. Great. So please take some minutes and finish this exercise and then come back, or pause this video until you finish. Okay, now let's correct. So here, so number two, what is your answer? Very good. So here number one or number two, if I not have all this work, I go out this evening. So what can we say here? Pay attention, we have negative and we have if. So we say if clause, we use past simple. So what is the negative of not have? So we say, very good, if I didn't have, excellent, all this work, I go out this evening. So the main clause we use would or could or might plus verb in the infinitive. So here, very good, we say I could go out this evening. Very good. Number three, we not miss so many phone calls if we buy an answer phone. So here we say, very good, so here please pay attention, we started with the main clause, and here this is the if clause. So here we, and the negative, we won't, very good, miss, or we couldn't miss. So many phone calls, if we, very good, the past of buy is bought, very good, if we bought an answer phone, brilliant. And number 4, if you watch a horror film, you'll be frightened. And please pay attention here, it's an interrogative sentence. But here in the first part we have if clause plus past simple. So we say if you, very good, watched a horror film, and here what we can say here, we have you be frightened. Very good. So we have would you be frightened. Brilliant. And number 5, Adam feel better if he give up smoking. Very good. So here we started again with what? With the main clause. So we say Adam would or might or could, very good, would feel better if he, the past of give, very good, gave up smoking. Brilliant. And the last one, if I be you, I visit the dentist. So here this is advice, and we start with if. Very good. If I were you, I, very good, would visit the dentist. So I hope you've answered this exercise correct. And now let's see the next exercise. And now in this exercise it says complete this exercise as suggested. Okay, so this is like the exercises you have or the questions you have in the national exam. So here we have number 1, they don't have enough money, so they can't buy a new car. So please here pay attention to the affirmative, negative, negative, affirmative. Okay, so here please pause this video and try to finish or try to answer all these questions, and then come back to see the answers or the correction. Okay, take some minutes and finish this exercise. Great, so now let's correct. So number 1, they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money, so they can't buy a new car. So F, very good, and here we start with F. Very good, we can simply say if they had enough money, they could buy a new car. Okay, very good. If they had enough money, they could buy a new car. So in the first sentence or in the original sentence we have negative, don't have, they can't buy. So we use here affirmative. If they had enough money, they could buy a new car. Brilliant. And number 2, he walks to school because he doesn't have a bike. So F, very good. So here we say if he had a bike, he wouldn't walk to school. Okay, if he had a bike, he wouldn't walk to school. Brilliant. And in number 3, I may not visit my friends because they don't live nearer. So here we say, and please pay attention, not visit, this is negative, change to affirmative. And also here, don't live, negative, change to affirmative. So simply we can say, very good, if my friends lived nearer, I might visit them. Brilliant. And number 4, Sarah is so rude, that's why her friends don't revise with her. So here we can simply say, very good, so if Sarah were not so rude, her friends would revise with her. Brilliant. And the last example we have, he can't get good grades because he doesn't revise his lessons. So here we can simply say, very good, please pay attention here, negative again, can't get, right? And here he doesn't revise. Very good, so in the sentence we have negative, so the answer should be in the affirmative. So we say, very good, if he revised his lessons, he could get good grades. Great, so I hope you've answered this exercise correct. And as a homework, as you know, we all the time have homework at the end of every session. So here, so write 3 sentences in which you use conditional type 2. Alright, so please try to use all the ideas or the rules we have learned today about conditional type 2 and try to write correct or 3 correct sentences in which you use conditional type too, right? You can ask for feedback if you want. You can just send them to me or contact me if you need any help. So this is all for this lesson. I hope you've learned something from it. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any problems regarding this. And I wish you all the best. And please stay well and stay safe and take care with a new lesson, inshallah. See you with a new lesson. Goodbye.